Okay, hello. Welcome, Boots. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not bad. Today, guys, we've got a little bit of news. I've brought Boots on. If you remember Boots, many moons ago, the ArenaNet once revealed a little picture of a Mesmer, some concept art, and we got a lot of speculation out of it. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
Well, we are now at number 9, the final one. We're at the other end, and I have very little to say about this Elite Spec, so I thought it might be nice to do what we did back then. And just have a bit of a conversation about what exactly ArenaNet have revealed. So, for people out of the loop, just a couple of hours ago, really, ArenaNet threw up a tweet. It is the final Elite Specialization art. It is on screen here, as you can see. And I've written down all my little observations about what we can see. I'm hoping you've got some interesting ideas as well, Boots. We could just chat about it and see what we think, yeah?
Sure, yeah. You have observations ready. That's good. Okay.
I've got a couple, and as always, I want to open and see what is your take immediately. Now, we know this is the engineer, guys, because
this is clearly a Mechromancer, right?
Well, okay, so that's a topic, really, isn't it? The color scheme. What do you think about the color scheme?
I mean, it just means Dragon Jade, right?
Right, exactly.
But so it's just so strange that they chose to do that with the last Elite Spec. When with every single other Elite Spec, they went with the color scheme of the class itself.
Well, you say that, but I remember on the Mesmer episode, there was quite a lot of wondering about whether it was maybe an Ellie, because it was a little bit like the Ellie.
And
I also remember, Boots, what was it? The Willbender, I think?
Well, that's because they didn't give the color until they revealed it a little bit more.
Well, there you go, exactly. So, if people didn't catch that, back on one of the previous ones, there was what was it, like blue fire, I think? And then it turned out to be grey in the actual image, or maybe vice versa.
The first set, they didn't really have, the
color. People had to, people had to, data mine the color out, didn't they? They boosted the saturation.
Yeah. Well, except for Harbinger. Harbinger definitely had the color. Yeah. And then the second set, they went with giving the color to all of them, the color of the spec. And then in the last two of this set, they did as well. And then here we are, final one, and we're green instead of, I guess, orange for Angie?
Yeah, I suppose. But here's the thing, Boots. I think this will follow through into the actual Elite Spec. I think that it will actually feel very green and sort of energy infused. Because you're right, it's definitely Dragon Jade. We've seen the kind of color that emanates and glows everywhere. And I think you're going to feel like a very green engineer. So it's not just for the art here. I think we'll probably have a mode or something that we toggle into. And we get a bunch of this. But, I mean, that would be a bit weird because Hollow was very much like a mode we toggle into. What do you think just else from what we can see so far?
Well, it's wielding something.
Yeah, right. So the one hand that's coming out, when I first saw that, I thought, oh, it's like a boxing glove. It's like a physical fight. It's totally not, right?
That looks like it's either a mace or a scepter. But probably a mace because it looks more blunt than a scepter usually is.
Oh, yeah, it looks bulkier. You know what? I never thought of it as a scepter at all. I didn't think of it as a... The thing is, though, Boots, I mean, he... I don't know, what kind of char is it that represents... but they're swinging. They're actually swinging. I think that's and I know you kind of swing a scepter sometimes. That feels like a mace.
Pointing to me. Where's the swing?
I think that they've just cut across the front of their torso, and they're the back. They're sort of holding out at the end after a swing's complete. Essentially, I feel like.
So you know what the first thing I thought of when I saw this mace in the hand of the char here, I thought, man, I hope this char is left-handed.
Did you? Really? Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. Because he's the char is using the mace in their left hand, which means that unless they're left-handed, this is an offhand mace.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that. So we're all right-handed in game, right? The main hand is going in your right hand.
I think so. And unless this is just artistic liberty or something.
Well, yeah, but they know people scrutinize this stuff. It's the last of the set. You might have thought.
Or maybe they're just using they have a free hand because they want to do other stuff with it right now. Maybe there's something in their other hand that we can't really quite see right now. It could be a gun of some sort. I don't know. Oh no, that is a pistol, isn't it? Oh, god damn it. So
I like the offhand. Some people might think, well, why does it matter if it's offhand? It kind of does matter because engineer feels really limited on the offhand, really, doesn't it?
No, it feels limited on the offhand, yes. But think about it this way: if you have a mace offhand and you don't get a mace on hand as well, you literally only have a pistol to wield with your mace.
Yeah, you're right. So here's the thing, guys, about Engineer, a bit of design. Many people may have forgotten at this point, but Engineer has deliberately less weapons to balance it with kits for like its core profession ideals, and then obviously it has Tool Belt, which it has regular access to as profession mechanic. So it has less weapons available because of all that stuff, and that was fine for core. But what's happened with Engineer over the years is when it comes to elite specializations, since they don't really think about kits much, because they don't really think about the Tool Belt much, it kind of feels like just an annoying restriction, right? So, I mean, Scrapper felt really good to me because I got the hammer and it was like a whole transformative thing. Sword, I guess, complemented reasonably well because I have played with both different offhands. But now this seems weird, Boots.
Hopefully that thing in the left there, hopefully that's not just his fist or something. Hopefully that is either, and I also hope it's not a pistol because that is his only other option if it's an offhand mace. Hopefully that's also another mace.
Well, so here's the thing, Boots. I can see wires on both hands. The way I kind of realised it was a mace, not like a boxing glove, is because of where those wires are on the wrist.
Yeah,
right?
they go into his fist, yeah.
It does kind of feel like his other hand is empty to me. And I know it's not going to be. If it's empty, then that takes us back to maybe it's not a coincidence the mace looks like a boxing glove, but the truth is the other hand's going to be an unarmed thing. But he will be holding something. Where are you seeing the pistol? I don't really see a pistol.
Well, like if you look at the left, his right hand or their right hand, it's either like that little thing over there is like a claw and it's an arm,
the finger
like
looking
this.
thing,
or the body is like tilted backwards a little bit, so his actual arm or hand ends a little bit earlier than the darker thing there, and that darker thing is whatever weapon he's wielding.
Right. Well, yeah, that would be a bit weird. If they did just give us offhand mace, maybe it'll be dual wield or something, or maybe we're just reading too deeply into this.
Yeah,
I did just think of something there, Boots. What do you think about profession mechanic? Because I just said something I think I'd like to see. I realised just now I'd like to see.
Well, okay, so it definitely like with the wires coming into the hands and stuff, it makes me think that there's augments involved. Dragon Jade augments for the NG in some way.
So when you say augment, do you literally mean that is a utility skill type we saw on the Catalyst, another Dragon Jade thing? So maybe
I hope that it's not exactly that because those are not that interesting to me yet. But they could be called augments because that sounds very techy to me. However, because of the icon of what we think this is, the icon looked a lot like some sort of golem, right?
Yes.
And so I have a feeling that there are going to be mechs or golems involved in this class.
Well, so that's kind of another. I just want to say what I think the mechanic might be, and then can we move to the golem discussion?
Sure.
I want to talk quite a lot about that. So I think with Scrapper, we got kind of a new tool belt ability, right? The function gyro, essentially, right? With Hollow, we got kind of a whole transform sort of mode. I'm thinking what might be nice this time, if we kind of map the engineer onto the way they've been handling Mesmer elite specializations, I think this could be a bit like the Chrono. What I would like is to see the theme is that Dragon Jade tool belt. So the F abilities are all different now. They're very similar to what they used to be, but they're like they're buffed up versions of they're new, slightly tweaked, improved, different versions of tool belt abilities because it's a Dragon Jade.
That's a lot of new skills.
Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's just like how Chrono, but the Chrono F abilities still feel very much like the core ones, but they're different theme and they do slightly different things. I think it will be that, and Dragon Jade is the idea. I think that would be a nice space.
That'd be really interesting. That's a lot of new skills, though.
Well, yeah, but then you look at like the Weaver with POF, and I think that in that way you actually kind of it's like NG enhanced in a way, because that makes you look at all your utilities in new and fun ways, and it's quite a simple,
I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's sort of my guess. Looking at like the wires and stuff, and I just imagine like pumping some Dragon Jade in now as I do X, Y, A, B, or C, and so yeah. But that means okay. So onto your topic, which is the infinitely more interesting discussion. I really thought, Boots, they were saving this art for last because we were gonna see a guy in a big ass mech.
I thought so too.
There's no mech.
There's no mech. I think they're trying to save it for next week, I guess.
Well, so what is it though then? Is it a pet? Is it a minion?
I think it's maybe some kind of pet, because like we all know, because in game you could have done it in the last month or so, or more than that. If you right click on some F abilities of your engineer, because the some kind of weirdness is going on in the game because of the betas, a dialogue box comes up that's the exact same as your ranger dialogue box for naming your pet.
I didn't know that, Boots. I didn't know about that.
Okay, well, it's a thing.
Wow. That's in game right now. Is that in game right now?
It happened to me last week, and I think it happened to a few other people like over a month ago.
Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, it's definitely a golem thing then. It's definitely like some kind of mech.
Like a pet, some kind of pet. And of course, I would love for it to be a golem that you could go into. I don't know if that's going to happen though. But the other thing is, like, I think this mace, I don't think he's swinging. I think he's pointing and commanding the golem to do something.
Oh, I see. You're then making me think of that amazing mission in Path of Fire, where you control a ton of Awakened around. Mm-hmm. You sort of tell them what to do, maybe. And I remember saying a lot of times, like, this would be cool on an elite spec in the future. Obviously, I was thinking of Necro, a Mechromancer type Mechro thing, but... Oh my god, I just said a word accidentally that I think this should be called.
Mechro.
The Mechro.
No, I think it should be called a mech tech.
I think it should be the Mechro, because it's Dragon
Mechro?
Jade. Because it's green, it looks like a Necro, and it might be commanding minions and stuff around.
Okay, then we should call it a Mechromancer.
No, that's too much now. I didn't invent
that.
No,
it's not.
So I don't like that.
But then what? Necro is just, it doesn't mean anything. Necro is just half of Necromancer.
Yeah, but with an M, man. With an M. And it's got mech in there.
But honestly, I think they are called mechs. Okay, so like I randomly yesterday I was on Lightbringers, and Jebro was sure that they'd come out with this teaser yesterday before Lightbringers came out. So the entire Lightbringers, we had nothing to talk about, so we were just talking about random stuff the entire time.
Right there. I like that.
It was great. We loved it. And some of the things you fight against in the live stream, in the training area, they're called mechs.
Oh, mech appears in the live stream.
Yeah, there's a training, like a training golem is called a training mech.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the mechs in there. Yeah, and it has a very distinct appearance too. Yeah, I remember.
Exactly. So I think this is some kind of mech, not golem, but mech spec.
But effectively a golem. I mean.
But effectively a golem, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think the thing is, from this art, guys, and it's unfortunate to me, I don't think we're riding in it anymore. I mean, maybe it's got like a mode where we can ride in it. I think it will exist. Also, by the way, I think it will be defensive in nature, based on the icon with the giant, like, looking shield arm things. I think it'll be defensive in nature.
I was hoping that we could ride in it, and then we'd have different versions of the golem we could ride in, and then we could team up with 5 other people riding in different mechs and turn into Voltron.
Oh, dude, they might do co-op mechs. You might be able to ride in it and it's co-op.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because they're doing the skiffs are co-op, right, and move around, and the siege turtle will be a co-op mount. Surely they can inherit that stuff.
Everybody would make an Angie.
And 5 players in one. Yeah, dude, with the whole boost thing from skiffs, that might be on it. That genuinely might be on it.
I doubt it, but yeah, it'd be cool.
I don't know, you might be onto something there. That might be actually something we can see. But it's not in the art. I mean, maybe they're just being very cagey about it because they know.
I mean, obviously they're being very cagey because this literally shows nothing.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. So back to the image. You got any other observations? I think I have like a little thing at least, one tiny thing.
I think I'm good.
Well, one thing I know that you did have is before we recorded this, Boots had a look on the wiki, and you couldn't find that skin, right? That mace skin.
Yeah, I couldn't find that particular mace skin. It looks a little flangey. I don't know. It could be a scepter, you know?
Maybe. When I look at it, it feels bulky to me like Bram's mace. I seem to vaguely remember Bram's mace feeling a little bit like that shape, but obviously not the same thing. Yeah. And obviously it's not Bram. So yeah, the only other thing I really had, guys, that I noticed on this is that whole amputee thing is there again. With that left leg. Right leg? His right leg.
You think?
Like, it feels like that's not a leg. So if you guys remember on the trailer, there was someone who'd like lost an arm or something. And but when they had their arm, it was like a Jade Tech arm, and it was right at the moment in the trailer where they're saying we've used our technology to reinvent Canthe. You know, it was like June was defending it, as a great innovator or whatever. There was just a little flash of it, and so I don't know. I think that the lore might be with this whole mech thing. That they've learned to augment their bodies, and then they've gone a little bit further and created bodies of their own.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah, and
it'd
whether
be
that hooks
interesting
into...
that it'd be interesting if you spec into this elite spec, you lose a limb.
Yeah, I mean, but they might have done that as like a character change for the iconic guy on the art that's doing it, and they've obscured it a little bit in the smudge there. But if you guys look at that leg, it looks like something might have happened to it. It might be a bit of a peg leg. So yeah. There you have it, guys. That's our thoughts on the last of the elite specs. Let us know what you think below, and very soon now we'll actually be on with additional details on these, and we'll be into the beta. So we'll be with you every step of the way. Thanks very much for coming on, Boots, and sharing your insights. That was really cool to hear about that bug, man. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And we'll see you very soon, guys. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Catch you later. Bye. All right, brilliant. What do you think?
That's good.
Excellent. Thank you. That's